And good afternoon. This is Woody Collins with Congo Helping Hands, and this another day of talking about the Congo. And today we have a exciting subject that just came about as I read through some my articles for today, and it's on land ownership. Get off my land. It's just unbelievable for people to think of that a country the size of east of the Mississippi River with vast amounts of land, they don't have an effective land ownership system. So let's go ahead and get started. The first thing I found out about this was back in probably about 6 years ago. Uh, had a student, a Congolese student, and we were driving down from Indianapolis down to uh, down to Atlanta to visit my relatives. And so while on the way down there, there's a lot of vast open lands and cornfields and whatever in Kentucky and also Tennessee as you're driving down the interstate. It's like a mini Texas. You just see miles and miles of not that many towns in that area, but you see, timber, you see all kinds of agriculture. Occasionally you run into the big towns. Once you leave Louisville, you run into a town. And once you get down to Bowling Green, Kentucky, and places. Okay, but he made the comment of who owns all this land, and which was strange question, I thought. And I go, I don't know. I don't know who owns it. He go, does the government own it? I go, no, the government don't own it. Uh, they own lands like uh, military parks, military bases, uh, buildings where there are military buildings on there, some uh, in national parks or something like that. But they don't own the vast majority of the land in the United States is owned people, you know. And he did not understand that. And I thought, yeah, I said, everybody own their land. You buy a piece of land, it becomes yours. And then what it made me think about, I had read in the book by Dr. Robinson, James Robinson, that is, he had a book out called Why Nations Fail. And they had studied and the Congo, and one of the reasons why they said that the Congo was lagging behind and had not improved much because they had no land ownership. So, with those two comments from the book and also comments from the student, I thought, oh, that's strange, and I still could not believe it. Well, most recently, when we were doing some agricultural projects as a result of the widespread displacement and the Camino Sapo uprising, uh, one of the groups that we were helping out, they had a dispute against another person about who owned the land. There was a piece of land that they said was was owned by the other guy, and the other guy says no. They supposedly went to the court, got it decided. They were trying to lock people up. They were fighting, and so we had to kind of like say, hey, once y'all get this decided on who owns the land, we can come back and continue our project on helping you out a little bit more. So that was the second time, this whole thing of land uh, or who owns the land. Then finally, most recently, there was a uprising in Maweka, which is in the north of Kananga, and there was fighting among people about land, who owned the land. I guess they had found some diamonds on the land, and so there was a big uh, economic value to the land now versus just being a, you know, an economic, worth not fighting over, and so they were fighting. And of course, people were killed. Finally, the UN was sending down some investigators, and the government was sending investigators to help resolve that issue. Well, this is all goes back to that's in our area, but there's a lot of the same thing going on throughout the country of Congo. And the Texas A&M University, they're using drones now in a project over in Eastern Congo to help, uh, uh, decide the disputes on who actually own land and whoever it is. Uh, I think with the drones, it may help out a little bit, but it's going to have to be, especially when you're dealing with, if it's all within the same province, it's okay because you can have the government in that province decide, okay, this is what it is and this is what it's not. But when it gets outside of the province and you got two provinces arguing about it, which I've seen the case of also, was there is a strip of land between the two provinces, Kasai Central and the Bujimai province, and there is arguing over who actually owns the land. I don't know whether trees were cut down or whatever it was the deciding factor of what delineated what was the property boundaries. They're not there anymore, and they was searching old records to try to find out, okay, where is this property line is and how can we get it. A lot of that stuff is still going on now, and I guess with drone with accurate uh, when you get the GPS location, you can block it off, but that's all in the future because in the case, who handled it in the past was traditional chiefs would say, "Oh yeah, you got this land that you can work and so forth and so on." However, when traditional chiefs die, that knowledge of who he gave land to kind of disappears with his death, and so you have that situation. So it's just unbelievable that a whole country doesn't have a formal uh, way to to identify land and to actually keep track of it and so forth. So you have a lot of disputes. Hopefully, they're going to get this all settled and institute something because uh, as as things go on and people want to start doing major manufacturing, they need to know who actually owns the land and who to talk to and who should be benefiting from it. So that's what I have to talk about today. Thank you so much for stopping. And please, if you like this video, please uh, like it, leave a comment if you desire. We appreciate your comments and also subscribe to either the channels on Facebook or on YouTube. We appreciate all that because we want to continue growing and so forth. So thank you so much for stopping by today. And it's about time for me to get outside in the rain and cold to get my exercise in. So as usual, I would like to tell everybody, let's get this pandemic under control. Let's wash our hands frequently. Let's socially distance ourselves from one another, and also wear your mask. We appreciate it, and we will see you tomorrow. Take care and be blessed.